finally took my meal prep meal for the week, even though I'm already like 2 days within the week. I'm gonna make some baked Cellentani with ground chicken. So this time around, the broccoli will be used. The last time I was supposed to use it, but I pretty much thought it would be better to use it with this recipe because of the way that I use it for pretty much any pasta that I make. So yeah, got some ground chicken. We have, I guess, technically 3 types of cheese. We have triple blend and some mozzarella. And we have some Alfredo sauce and pretty much the usual ingredients I have when it comes to seasoning any type of chicken. So we will get started with that and get this rolling. Alright, so pretty much now I got the water boiling in the back. Before I actually start seasoning my ground chicken, I make sure to at least get out the broccoli. I had that in the microwave, got it finished up, but what I'm about to do with the broccoli is blend it so it'll be where I can just actually put the broccoli within the sauce and then just mix it with pasta, have it all together. So pretty much I have my, I guess, food processor for pretty much everything. I already oiled it down just so it's an easier clean once I'm done with this. Once I do get it all nice and blended, I am going to put it in the fridge while I wait for everything else to be done, and then I'll just hop it in with the sauce when it's time to reheat it. So yeah, it just makes it all easier for me. And I'll just put it on. See how that's looking. Yeah, it's all good and blended. So yeah, getting that out of the way, and throw it in the fridge so I don't have to worry about it until I actually need it. So yeah, now about to season the ground chicken. Usually when I'm doing it with pasta, I'm not going to use soy sauce just because I definitely don't want to take that risk of figuring out what that would ever taste like. I would usually have like oregano, but I'm all out and I forgot to get some. So yeah, seasoned salt. Gonna try this Dano's for a pasta for the first time. So yeah, definitely going with a little bit of a hotter pasta. Paprika. A little cayenne. Did I get that? Yeah, okay. Still gotta get used to this third tripod that's seen over the top of things. Onion powder. So yeah, I had about 2 pounds of ground chicken. Garlic powder. And ground black pepper. Already washed, and so pretty much with this it's just a matter of obviously getting the seasoning in, but I'm gonna pretty much just throw this all in like a big lump onto the skillet and pretty much cook it, and then I'll break it down as soon as it starts browning out, or in this case kind of like whitening. Yeah, Once it does that, then I will put it off to the side and pretty much wait for the pasta to finish up boiling, which I have to still wait for the water to finish up boiling. Alright, I think that is more than enough. Alright, so got my skillet ready, got the pie ready. Definitely a little more reach down angle. Took some practice, obviously. And I wanted to make sure that I'm able to use at least both burners. And at least when it comes to the meat, I can get it on the bigger burner. It looks like a big hob of meat just slapped on, but it's just kind of the process that I do. And once it actually cooks through, then I will have it looking way better. ground chicken because it's looking like it's actually cooking all the way through. So that's good. Now it's just a matter of chopping it down. I'm gonna let it cook a little bit more, and then I'll just let it sit, and then I'll chop it down just so it's actually good enough to be blended in with the pasta and broccoli. down. Maybe can chop it down a little bit more, but I only have so much space. So yeah, it's cooked all the way through. Yeah, if I can get it, yeah. So now it's just a matter of waiting to drain the pasta. Like, give another 3 minutes and then I'll drain it. Moving with the sauce next. Put the sauce in, so classico 4-cheese Alfredo. I'm gonna let that cook while this burner is still hot, and then I'll do that. I'm also going to add a little more cayenne in it, just for more of color, really. Since I'm going for like a spicy one right now. I'm gonna at least add that for the color. Well, my bad. Paprika, not the cayenne. So, paprika for the color, cayenne for the kick. shredded cheese in there. So that Tillamook whole milk mozzarella. So I'll also be using when I get it. Well, using when I get the pan ready to bake it. So a little bit of that. Triple cheddar blend. Yeah, these are like some extra large shreds. So next will be the broccoli. Hopefully this doesn't turn the whole sauce brown. That is a lot of broccoli. So that just blends right in. It's turning a little green, but it won't taste bad. So I will throw pasta in now, and then I'll throw the chicken in. It is coming out green right now, which isn't bad. So I'm gonna mix this, put the oven on, and then I will get everything else laid out. So yeah, let me get my baking pan ready and transfer that over, especially now that I'm waiting for the oven to get hot. Alright, so got my baking pan, just gonna spray it down. Next, just gonna get some more cheese in, just to be ready. Just lay some at the base, and then also just lay some on the top once I got everything transferred over. I'm not gonna do too much because I have the other bag, and obviously I gotta keep some for the top. That out. It's mostly just sauce. Alright, so then I'll just put this in. I won't be putting aluminum foil on. I maybe should try it out, but so far every time I've cooked pasta or baked it, it hasn't been an issue of keeping it uncovered. I think the only time the last time I've used aluminum foil to cover it was when I'm usually just cooking lasagna, but I haven't cooked lasagna in like forever. So I'll just stick to what's been working for me, at least with other types of pasta. So yeah, oven's at 400. I'll get this in and come back for it in like 20-25 minutes. All right, so the pasta is all ready, still boiling, but it's pretty much cooked as well as it can be without letting it burn. So let me take this out, and let's see, can we get a good look? Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna let that cool off. Make a bowl. Pretty much this will maybe last me until like a little bit into next week, at least by I'll say next Monday or Tuesday. So yeah, gonna let that cool off, and then I'm gonna get a bowl for dinner, and I will call it from there. Alright, so it's cooled off. It's gonna make me a bowl, place for dinner, and then I am going to get this plated up and pretty much call it. So yeah, with this recipe, you don't need to make it spicy like I do. Definitely be good as is, and obviously you don't have to add broccoli either. So this is like just a lot of optional stuff that I add that I just wanted to, because I wanted to make sure that at least get some type of vegetable in. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it is got a little green look to it, at least from this angle, but there's a lot of chicken in there and obviously a lot of cheese. So yeah, again, hopefully y'all enjoy, and I'm gonna enjoy this, and hopefully y'all watch out for some more videos.